What's going on, everybody? Doc, Average Gamer guys, back again, or Escape from Tarkov action. Today, picking up, well, not really where we left off, but starting fresh, anew again with some weapon testing. Today we've got the G-36, one of the new weapons of the wipe. We've played around with this a little bit before, but we're going to jump in. We've got two different versions, actually, we're going to be giving a run today. So hopefully they turn out okay. Without further ado, let's jump in. All right, so first things first, if you're maybe new to this series that we've done on the channel for the last couple of wipes, actually, what we essentially do is we take a gun, we make some modifications, we build the thing out, mostly to my preference, but I also try to find like a really good balance, close to meta, if not a meta build, at least in one or two categories, not always. Sometimes I prioritize, ergonomics over recoil and things like that, but for the most part, they try to make these pretty dang decent builds with what options we have available, and then we go give them a test. We'll run a couple of raids, we'll see how they do, hopefully get into some PvP, really try to push the PvP, that way we can see how they fare against players, and then we give them a score at the end. Typically, and I started this back with our series where we did barter only weapons, which was actually a ton of fun. I will continue on with the same system. We're going to talk total value, we're going to talk handling, which we're going to break down into ergo and recoil. We're going to talk the cool guy factor, maybe not as necessary for weapons that we can just buy. That was kind of more towards the barter only side of things, but we'll keep it in there, and then we'll talk viability and where I think you can use the guns, and overall give it kind of an overall score as far as how we're sitting. So today we have the G-36. I have two versions here for you. What I thought would be interesting to do is kind of take like a short barrel version, and then I want to take kind of a long barrel version, and you're going to see obviously there are some pretty significant differences between the two. And I want to make sure that we can see both of these here at the same time and be able to take a look. So this is not actually the longest barrel version. This is the second barrel option, and there's a big reason for that. The big reason is because of this handguard right here. The longest version of the handguard, at least from the modifications that I messed around with and could tell, does not get any type of bottom rail, which makes it really unfortunate because then you can't do certain things like adding a hand grip, a foregrip, anything like that. You have this hand stop, I think, on pretty much every version. You can put it on every version, which gives you a little extra ergonomics, but that's kind of where we're sitting at. So here's how you can see with the mag loaded in and what we're essentially taking a look at. Let's start with the short barrel version, kind of the CQB version here. We kept this pretty standard. There's not a ton here. There's actually a good short barrel version that you can buy on the flea market. You're going to change the stock out. This is just an overall better stock than the standard one that comes on here, and you don't have any other option besides those two. And that really from there, you're not swapping up a whole lot of things. I swapped up our barrel modification here. We put the AR-15 Bulltech ST6012 muzzle brake on here. This is the best in slot muzzle brake for just a pure muzzle brake. I wanted to go loud with this version, mostly because I wanted to kind of control vertical recoil, but we're going to be getting close, probably doing some hip fire, so I want to scare the shit out of people. It's probably not going to happen. We're probably going to die. But I also wanted to focus on some decent ergonomics, and I kept the standard 30 round mags here for the G-36. You're going to see on this version, long barrel version, I swapped out I swapped the mag wall out to accept other magazines. We'll see how that plays out, but for this one we kept the standard G-36 mag well on this, and then not a whole lot else. You can change any obviously any optics. You have to keep this top rail on in order to be able to put any of that on. That's your only option. You can't add on the G-36 like standard sights, but they are god awful, so I do not recommend doing that. And again, make sure you put this little hand stop in here. It's going to give you one little extra ergonomics little thing right here at the front. It's good. It's worthwhile. It's actually really looks kind of like a sling mount and a hand stop, more so like a sling mount than anything, but nice that it gives you a little boost there. And then we've got a flashlight laser combo, so nothing too crazy here. For both these guns, we're going to be running A55A1. 855 in general has actually gotten not 855. the ammo and these guns in general have actually gotten a nice little boost here as of late. These 5.56 guns are doing mo better than they had been, at least previous wipe and up through the beginning portion of this wipe. And so it'll be interesting to see. There's still, I think, going to be some recoil issues with these. Here's how we're sitting: 53.5 ergonomics, under 4 kilos actually for the short barrel version, which is pretty good. We should be able to get this thing up and down pretty quick. We got 62 vert recoil and 184 horizontal. These are not terrible recoil stats, but they're not great. And obviously for a short barrel CQB weapon, we could do much better if we went with an actual SMG, but we're running AR platform in that configuration, so see how we go here. Over to the long barrel version, or the mid barrel version, I guess, the long barrel in comparison to the shorter barrel. We've got some pretty good attachments. We're running RK1. We got a Saker on here, ASR, which is a pretty solid, one of the premier solid silencers, as well as its respective muzzle brake, flash hider, I guess technically. Again, a lot of the same modifications you're going to see here. The biggest difference is obviously barrel length, and then this, I think this is the 4-vent. This 4-vent here grip, which allows you to put essentially your Picatinny rail attachments, your bottom rail, your side rails. You could do the left-hand side if you want to do that as well, which is giving you, again, the option for some additional things. We got our little hand stop on there. Nothing else too crazy here. Same light. And that's kind of how we're sitting. You can see ergonomics, we're at 0, but we are at 48 recoil and 139 horizontal recoil, which is significantly better. Obviously, one thing I do want to take a look at is if we pull this mag out, we actually get 18 ergonomics back. One thing that we could look at doing is swapping out this RK1 and maybe putting this SE on it and seeing if that helps at all. That really doesn't add a whole lot. We go up to 49 here. I may just want to make that. We don't really gain a whole lot, but we do gain a significant amount of ergonomics back. And then when we throw this in, we get 7. We're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and just run this. As I was taking a look at that, I want to run the 60 rounder just honestly to try it out, not because I think you necessarily are going to need it, but we'll give this a run here. So like I said, we'll be judging these as we go. We're first going to be jumping into some factory to try the short barrel version, probably lose this very quickly, and then we'll probably take our standard version here and maybe go run some customs, and we'll see how we do. Let's get to the action. Before I get to the action, because I remembered this time, I do this in every one of these videos, let's just talk really quickly where you can buy these from. So you have a couple of options as you level up Mr. Peacekeeper for these. Your first option is going to become available. The first couple of options are going to become available at Peacekeeper level 2, and these aren't fantastic. The reason, again, for these is you're getting this 6-vent, which is just not good. It's just not good. You can put a bipod on it. That's the problem with this thing. If you could put something else besides the dang bipod on it, which is not a bad attachment, it would be mo better. It'd be way mo better. It's just not good, and the reason is, again, you can't put any kind of rail on it, and then therefore can't put any kind of foregrip to help you out here. The sights are just god awful too, so probably not where you want to go to test these weapons out. Statistically, 74 217, it's just not good. Obviously, you could do a few things with your barrel attachments. You could swap your stock up a little bit. But this G-36, I think the other thing that's hurting it up front is it is kind of limited in its total customization options. When you get to Peacekeeper 3, you're going to get the G-36C option, which is significantly better. This essentially is the short barrel version that I have used here, and as you can see, for $619, it's not terrible. Swap the stock out, swap the flash hider, your muzzle brake, throw a foregrip and a different optic on top, and you're actually not doing too bad, to be honest with you. This isn't a terrible price point for this gun, especially when you can compare it to some other things like the Scar, probably arguably better. Even your MDRs are pretty expensive, and it's certainly cheaper than even your HKs. Now, those are going to have some performance differences. Time will tell as we test this out, but I just want to show that. And then once you get to Peacekeeper 4, you get this version, which is actually probably, I would think, the best version if you wanted to go with that. You get the 4 vent here. This just looks like a good overall package. It's $579 too, so it's actually the cheapest version when you look at all of those combined together, and it is significantly the best version. So this is essentially the long barrel, quote unquote, long barrel version that we're going to use. And you can see base stats here, 7206. Not terrible, but again, you're going to be able to put a rail on the bottom, rails on the sides, throw a few things on here, and you are ready to rock and roll, which is pretty nice. So I want to showcase that, and we'll jump in. Let's get to some raids. All right, here we go. We're going to try factory out, short barrel version. See how we do. $100% there's somebody back here. We have burst fire on here. Well, I want to get into the action, but I also want to like fire this gun for longer than 10 seconds, so that guy actually really screwed us up. And we're in trouble. How many times did I like burst that guy? Good shot. What? I don't know about all that. So I did not I did not headshot the first guy. We got 8 hits there. That last guy, I feel like I hit 3 or 4 times. We missed a lot on the first guy. The recoil on that was a little rough to handle. I didn't get a good chance. Spray pattern felt like it kind of hovered out all right. That second guy is just... He just like stood there and like just took my bullets, but we were getting hits. Like I was hitting that guy, right? I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. That's factory for you. Maybe I only shot him twice. I'm just really trying to figure out. I mean, he's unarmored. A55A1 has pretty decent flesh damage. Pretty decent. To the point where I want to go check. Yeah, I mean, 46 damage. We got 8 hits. We have like 350 damage. That's interesting. I must have just spread it around enough, I guess. I don't know. That was a little silly. And good headshot from that guy, to be honest with you. Really good. I think this is the class 5. We're going to go ahead and use these. We'll get equipped up here, and we'll jump into another one. We'll try this version out. See you in the raid. All right. So let's see if we can have a little bit more success here on customs. Yeah, a little slow on the pull-up with this 60 rounder in here. Feels like this guy made the push for dorms. don't feel like I saw this guy rotate past here. He didn't. I knew that guy was still in there. Don't mind my terrible aim, guys. Swap your helmet, dog. I feel like this got through this guy, okay. Kind of want to get into construction here. See what the deal with that is. Good shot, man. Holy crap. Woo, we're just getting head tapped today. So we we get the one. I think I'm gonna run one more. That was a nice flechette shot from that guy. GG's. I'm gonna run one more. That actually didn't feel too terrible. I think we run just 30 rounders in it. It felt like it without the severe ergonomics reduction that we get from that 60 round mag, it actually felt pretty good, and it did feel, I would say, relatively controllable for that position. So maybe we give one more, and let's I'll build one more of those bad boys, and we'll jump in. We'll give it a try. See you in red. All right, we're gonna give this another run. So we basically built the same weapon with one distinct difference. I did not go, and I chose to keep just the standard G-36 mags here. Hopefully that's a decent decision. Only time will tell. It's interesting that this weapon has burst fire. I'd be kind of curious to test the burst fire out. I'm not gonna do it in this live raid. Can I loot this? But might be worth giving it a go. Gotten insta head tapped here today. Twice. See if that trend continues. We get some very fast PvP here if we push. The kills are not going to get me down though, because I got my custom shooter bar in heaven kills done today prior to recording this. So I'm very happy about that. Very much excited. I just need lighthouse now. 2 on lighthouse, and we are done. Shooter born. I just ran in here. Curious how many times we hit this guy. I felt like we had some good moves there. I got head-eyed. Hit 4, 199 to body, 7 to armoire. And I took an 8.56 A1 round. I got double stomached, left armed, and then into the noggin. All right, so let's just really quick run through here, and let me go rapid fire on some ratings here. Don't feel like this was the absolute best test of this. I would maybe be interested to take this weapon and see how it performs when we're not just like super hard pushing the PvP. I think there is viability for this gun. I think again it's maybe more of a conversation about 5.56 still and some additional kind of tweaks. If the recoil I feel like was toned down just a little bit more, we may have we may be in a really nice sweet spot for a lot of different guns. This weapon feels like it should be better. It's just maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Again, we came up against a weapon, a 5.56 weapon there. I don't know what that guy was using. Could have been an HK, could have been an M4, could have been the same thing. I really don't know. Hard to tell from that quick interaction that we had. But all in all, yeah, let's just talk about it. So value-wise, if you can get Peacekeeper to level 4, $579 for this version, the KV2, is pretty good. Actually, it's one of the cheapest weapons you can buy from Peacekeeper, actually, outside a couple of the SMGs and the pistols, obviously. And you don't need to do a whole lot to this to make it viable. Like I said, throw a different muzzle brake on it, get yourself a rail for the bottom, an SE5 foregrip. That one seemed to be really good, actually handled kind of recoil control and ergonomics pretty well. Throw a sight on and maybe a side rail with a laser or flashlight, whatever you fancy, and pretty good. So value out of 5, I'm actually gonna give it like a 4.5. It's pretty good because you don't have to do a lot to it. From a handling perspective, ergo, this is I think where this gun suffers the most, because with it being an HK weapon, you don't get a lot of modifications. You can't change the stock up, with the exception of 2 versions. You can't change the pistol grip at all, and you're pretty limited on the rest of your options besides the normal stuff that you would be able to change, like an optic, a foregrip, and the muzzle adapter. That's all the options you get. There's no additional, hand guards. There's nothing else that you can swap into. Obviously, you can change the magwell, which is a little bit different, but that's about where you're sitting at. So ergo, I think I'm gonna give it like for an assault rifle, I'm gonna give it like a 2.5. Recoil felt okay. I'm gonna give that a 2.5 as well. I think it is controllable. I think you can make it work. But that's just kind of is what it is. So I'll give it an overall 2.5 there. Cool guy factor. I love the G-36. One of my favorite weapons. One of my favorite Call of Duty weapons. I just don't think it fits the bill here because of the limited customization options, and the basic sights are just god-awful terrible. So, cool guy, I'm going to give it a 1.5. 1.5. Viability, overall, if you are looking for a cheap 5.56 weapon, I'm going to give it a viability of 3. That's probably not a full round of where it needs to go, but it is the KV2, with how cheap it is and how little you have to do with it. I do think it is worth a discussion, and if it gets any kind of additional modifications, buffs, especially to recoil and ergonomics, we're having a different discussion here. I think this thing starts to see itself kind of level itself into some options. Where to use? I feel like your mid-range maps are going to be your best. Customs feels like a pretty good fit for it. Honestly, interchange probably not too bad. Decent, it felt like, for the most part at, close range. Obviously, we use kind of the CQB version that we built. But I think overall, that's where it fits. Now, certainly you could throw a different type of optic on top, Elcan, you could go with your Vortex, your Voodoo, you could get yourself some long range options. Those wouldn't be too bad either. If you do that, then it probably gets some viability for maybe a map like Shoreline. Reserve, honestly, felt like it could probably be okay, depending on where you were going to roam on the map and what you were going to go do. So I think it has a lot of viability, a lot of different maps where you can use it on, depending on essentially the optic that you're throwing on top. But give it a try. It is fun. Level Peacekeeper up. Give this version a try. Do not waste your money on these other versions, because you're going to end up spending just way too much in trying to modify these. Even the E2 here, because again, it has the 6 vent, and if you could do anything else besides the damn bipod, I feel like it would be way better. That's just me chatting. So I'll wrap this one up here. Again, sorry we couldn't kill more people with it, but that probably goes to tell you a little bit about the gun itself, or maybe how trash I am at this game. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully it was good luck. We're going to continue to bring weapon testing back as we close in on finishing up our tasks. We're sitting, I think, right at level 46, and we only have a few of the major tasks to go, and we are pretty close to Kappa. I think I'm 2 items away. I need a wallet and Gigi's keychain, and we are in business for Kappa, so I'm pretty excited about that. There's a couple other weapons I actually have and have been running. The SAG AK, I definitely want to give this a weapon testing. This thing is an absolute beast machine. So that will be coming up here pretty soon. I also want to take a look at, try to get a couple more quests done, and then we'll bring back and see what other barter weapons, what new barter weapons we can throw onto the table. So if you have any suggestions down below, I know there's a lot of love for the series. This is a personal series favorite of mine, being able to do these. So drop some comments down below if you have any ideas on what you want to see next as far as weapons, and we'll try a few things out. I think I probably need to try out that single shot sniper rifle too at some point in factory. Let you guys laugh at me, but yeah, we'll give a couple of things a try. Let me know down below, barter weapons or otherwise, if you want to see a weapon testing on it. Put the quick plug here, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for all the support on YouTube. Lots more of this coming at you, more guides, hardcore series, escape series, stream highlights, whole bunch of Tarkov content. So stay tuned to the channel. 5 videos a week is our goal, and we have been very consistent with that. So hopefully you're enjoying all the stuff that we're throwing at you. And we're always here to help too. I just want to say that. So if you have questions, throw them down in the comments below. If you're stopping in for the first time, thank you. Consider subscribing. We'd appreciate all the support. Flash some socials: Twitter, Twitch, Discord, TikTok, all in the description below. Links, click them, hit the follow buttons over there. Catch us live Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and during the week when we can. We're not traveling for work and things like that. Usually later in the evenings EST, probably around 9 p.m. or so. We'll get started, maybe a little shade after, and we'll go for a few hours. So catch us over there. Great opportunity, run some raids with us, have some fun, chill, and ask any questions, anything we can help you with. We'll close it out. I've been Doc, Average Gamer, guys. This has been weapon testing of the G-36. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll catch you next Escape from Tarkov video. Peace.